Iran is on edge, rocked by a deepening economic crisis, surging street protests, and growing fear inside the halls of power. As violence escalates on the streets, a startling report from French daily Le Figaro claims senior Iranian officials are quietly seeking French visas for their families, a move that signals panic at the very top. 34 protesters and 2 cops killed, 2,000 arrested in the last 12 days. Trump puts Khamenei regime on notice in Iran. Le Figaro has reported that multiple high-ranking figures in Iran are attempting to secure safe passage to France as nationwide anti-government protests grow more volatile and the economy continues to spiral. According to Le Figaro, the visa requests were initiated through a Paris-based lawyer, suggesting preparations for possible exit by elite families. Iranian-French journalist Emmanuel Razavi claims that within the last 24 hours, several prominent reformist leaders, including even the Speaker of Iran's Islamic Assembly, have pursued French visas for their relatives. The development is being widely interpreted as a dramatic loss of confidence within Iran's ruling establishment, revealing deep anxiety about the country's future. Meanwhile, anger is boiling over on Iran's streets. Protests have turned increasingly violent, with deadly clashes between demonstrators and security forces. On Wednesday, a police officer, Mahmoud Haqiqat, was shot dead in Iran's southeastern province of Sistan and Baluchistan. Video footage shows an unidentified gunman firing repeatedly from a moving vehicle, striking the police car, which then veered off the road and crashed. This was the second police killing in just 2 days. Earlier, Officer Ehsan Agazani was fatally shot during clashes in Iran's western Ilam province, underscoring how rapidly the unrest is spiraling. As tensions mount inside Iran, international pressure is also rising. U.S. President Donald Trump voiced support for Iranian protesters, warning that America would stand with them if security forces harmed civilians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also publicly backed the protesters, further intensifying scrutiny on Tehran. Inside Iran, the response from authorities has been uncompromising. Chief Justice Gholam Hossein Mohseni Ejei issued a stern warning, vowing strict action against anyone accused of aiding the enemies of the Islamic Republic. The message is clear. As unrest deepens and elite families look for exits, Iran's leadership is preparing for a prolonged and dangerous confrontation at home.
Tell you, though, there's been protesters killed in Iran. You said we were locked and loaded, ready to go. What is the line there for when the U.S. is going to get involved in those protests?
We'll take a look. We're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United.
As President Donald Trump issues a stark warning to Tehran, threatening harsh U.S. action if Iranian authorities continue killing protesters. New intelligence suggests Iran's supreme leader may already be preparing an escape. According to an intelligence report shared with The Times, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has a contingency plan to flee Iran if unrest overwhelms his grip on power. The 86-year-old leader is said to be ready to leave Tehran with a tightly controlled inner circle of up to 20 aides and family members, including his son and designated heir, Mojtaba Khamenei, if security forces begin to desert, defect, or refuse orders. Intelligence sources say the destination would be Moscow. Former Israeli intelligence officer Benny Sabti told The Times there is effectively no other place for Khamenei to go, citing his admiration for Russian President Vladimir Putin and the deep political ties between Tehran and Moscow. The escape plan is reportedly modeled on the flight of Syria's former leader Bashar al-Assad, who fled Damascus to Russia in December 2024 as opposition forces closed in on the capital. Sources say the plan includes pre-arranged exit routes, the movement of assets abroad, and access to cash and overseas properties to ensure a rapid departure if the regime begins to fracture. Khamenei is believed to control a vast financial empire through opaque semi-state foundations, including Setad, an organization Reuters estimated in 2013 to be worth as much as $95 billion. Many of his closest allies already have family members living overseas, including in the United States, Canada, and Dubai. The revelations come as protests spread across Iran for a second week, driven by economic collapse, soaring inflation, and rising public anger. Demonstrations have erupted in multiple cities, including the holy city of Qom, with protesters accusing security forces of using live fire, tear gas, and water cannons to suppress dissent. Those forces, the Revolutionary Guard, Basij militia, police, and the army all report directly to Khamenei, who remains the ultimate authority in the Islamic Republic. But Western intelligence assessments suggest the supreme leader is increasingly fragile. The same profile describes Khamenei as mentally and physically weakened since last year's 12-day war with Israel, a conflict that decimated key Iranian-aligned forces across the region. During that war, Khamenei reportedly spent days in an underground bunker, avoiding the fate of senior Revolutionary Guard commanders killed in Israel's strikes, reinforcing what analysts describe as a deep obsession with survival. He has rarely appeared in public since, and notably has remained silent during the latest wave of protests. Despite his rigid ideology, intelligence officials describe Khamenei as pragmatic, willing to make tactical retreats to preserve the regime above all else. Born in 1939 in Mashhad, Khamenei rose from revolutionary activist to president and ultimately to supreme leader, despite lacking the traditional clerical credentials required for the role. A failed assassination attempt in 1981 left him permanently injured, an event analysts say cemented his belief in a divine mission to rule. That mission expanded beyond Iran's borders, fueling decades of investment in armed allies across the Middle East, from Hezbollah and Hamas to militias in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. But the collapse of those fronts and the economic toll at home has turned public anger inward. One chant now echoing across Iranian streets captures the shift. No to Gaza, no to Lebanon. I give my life for Iran only. As Washington sharpens its warnings and unrest continues to build, the question facing Iran's supreme leader may no longer be whether he can hold on to power, but whether he will be forced to run.